I want to get into the point of some specific use cases. So are we talking about syndication for GPs at all levels, I guess, right? So it could be they're looking at fix and flip, like you had mentioned previously, or value add. It could be in the single family space, multifamily, commercial in general, industrial, self-storage, you name it, right? So it's essentially a platform to help, I guess, connect GPs and LPs, right? In currently, it's being done with crowdfunding. There are others in the space that are doing this, but they're not doing this utilizing blockchain technology, right? So can you share like a specific use case that this is really helpful for, and why blockchain, and why is it more secure than what currently is available on the market?
Very good question. So there are competitors. It's the largest asset class in the world. It's a $280 trillion market. The US housing market was worth $43 trillion.
Wow.
So it's big. You can have a lot of players in the same space doing exactly what we're doing, but a lot of our competitors are not using blockchain.
Right.
However, for mass adoption, the problem with blockchain is that a lot of people don't know what it is.
Right.
And when I was selling computers in the early 90s, I was selling 10 computers a day. My colleagues were selling one, is because I made something very complex, very easy for people to understand.
Right.
We don't lead in with blockchain. Blockchain is actually the store of record of ownership, rights, dividends, and appreciation, and then their compliance.
Right.
And so we don't lead in with that. We actually lead in is that, what is the pain point for the industry? The industry is people have been priced out of the market.
Right.
Real estate's aspirational. Everybody wants to own it, but not everybody can afford it. And how can we solve that problem? How can my accredited investors that make a lot of money, like be able to buy and sell and flip properties and make $1 million in a year?
Right.
A retail investor do not have that same opportunity because they're only available to people that have money. And being able to fractionalize that asset, my mom, who had $30,000 that wanted to invest, now has that opportunity to get the same returns through technology.
Right.
So blockchain is actually just another technology aspect that we built into our platform, so that when we actually take in global monies, how does somebody from, let's say, Thailand or Africa or South America buy properties if they're a retail investor in the United States? It's literally almost impossible.
Right.
But through technology, they have the opportunity to do that using our platform and have that same level of trust because of blockchain. They don't know who John is. If you're doing a multifamily development and you wanted to take investors from Asia and they wanted to invest into your project, how are they going to know that you're a real person and that their actually investments are going to be protected?
Right.
With blockchain, that actually kind of solves that problem for them, so that we can actually open up a global pool of capital that can actually invest into income producing properties. And like you mentioned, you actually pretty much named all of them, which is short-term rentals, senior housing, student housing, storage facilities, multifamily, new construction. We want those individual people to have the ability to invest into income producing properties and get that dividend from the shared rental income after expenses and appreciated value. So blockchain is just another layer of what we've built, but bringing it all together to have that same level of trust. And as there's more adoption into the blockchain space, people will feel more comfortable in actually investing and learning more about that technology. But we do not lead in with blockchain. We lead in with the pain point. You can now invest into real estate for $100. And this is how we do it if you want to learn more.
I love it. And when we met at the Blueprint conference, I remember what you said too was, there's others right now that are actually providing NFTs, right? As that, the portion or the share or of the real estate you're investing. And I like you're doing it this way, because you're right. I think the point that you had made is right now even the government hasn't caught up with regulation, and there's still all of this kind of negativity going around and all this fraud going around. So like, how do you then still take advantage of blockchain, which again, I'm glad you don't lead in with, but just for the audience, just so you know, it's just immutable records. It's just like a solid way of understanding that, well, once you own something and it's on the blockchain, it's there forever, right? And so that's the portion that you're using, but then everything else is still within what real estate operators, developers, investors are used to, right? So it's kind of using that aspect of that security, then combining it also with your team that's still utilizing that that security, still provides a meaningful way for everyday investors to come on to the platform and share in real estate assets. So I really love your approach to this versus going all in on NFT.